Here's a lovely little project I've had the chance to put together over the last couple of weeks. It's a combination of the Baby 8 sequencer and the Atari Punk Console, which is a VCO oscillator. The kits are pretty easy to put together, following the very clear instructions on their website. And basically what you have is you have an 8-step sequencer. Each of the voltages can be changed by a potentiometer, and that's fed into the simple square wave VCO. I say simple, there's actually a big range of sounds available from it. So on the Baby 8 sequencer there are 8 potentiometers, and each has an LED, and each has a little switch associated with it. And those switches are really important. So I can set, as each step goes through, the voltage that's output to the VCO, but I can also decide whether they're selected or not. So there's a little switch that allows me to set between reset mode, I think that's what I would call it. That triggers the counter to reset back to its first step, or where it skips that step and plays the next one along, leaving a pause in the middle. So I can create different rhythmic patterns, I can create sounds that vary in pitch, or I can create a bar with very few beats in it. So there's a huge amount of variety available in this little circuit board, all running off one PP3 battery and some simple connections. Now, as it stood with just some connections between the two, I found it a little bit awkward on the desk, so out with the on-shape, draw some quick CAD layouts, and with a bit of 3D printing and some laser cutting, I managed to mount my whole thing on a little base and keep it a little bit more sturdy and secure. But that's not by any means necessary, and I do see online people do their various conversions for this little set of devices. So overall, it's good fun. It's straightforward to build. I did have some problems understanding the 200k resistor. I think my eyesight at this point isn't able to read some of the resistor color code bands like I did when I was younger. But other than that, I didn't find any major problem. Just follow the order with the usual thing of the smaller components first. That allows it to sit flat on the desk while you're soldering it, and then carefully working up to the larger components, taking care with things like integrated circuits, not to overheat them and so on. Interestingly, on the Baby 8 sequencer they're not socketed, but on the Atari Punk Console, the VCO, the 556 is actually socketed. I did actually modify my circuit, only a minor way. I put an on-off switch for the loudspeaker. The Atari Punk Console does have an audio output. I see that it's wired for left and right channels, and I wanted to feed that into my Raspberry Pi and use some of the effects available within the Jack construction kit, things like flanger and delay, just to try and add some other colour to the sounds that were produced. So overall, a really pleasing kit. It went together really smoothly, and by then combining that with a little bit of 3D printing and laser cutting, I think it's produced a really nice piece of work. So overall, I'd say a 10 out of 10 for this little kit, and I'm really pleased with the sounds I'm getting from it.